Phase 2 COVID-19 vaccination dry run carried out throughout the nation. Assam sees dry run in 33 districts. Union Health Minister Dr. Harsha Vardhan announces polio vaccination drive to begin on the 17th of this month. Government-farmers talks reach no agreement. Next round of talks scheduled for the 15th of this month. Deputy Chief Minister Poo Tonluya lays foundation stone for Aizawl City Indoor Stadium at Republic Wing, Aizawl. And Australia all out for 338 against India on the second day of the third test match. A very good evening, viewers, and welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin from the studios of Doordarshan Guwahati. This is Hongita Kakuti Pathak, and now the stories in detail. The second COVID-19 vaccination dry run is being held throughout the country today. The massive mock drill is being conducted in 736 districts across 33 states and union territories. The objective of the dry run is rehearsal of the actual vaccine administration process and to familiarize the state, district, block and hospital level officers on all aspects of COVID-19 vaccination. Around 170,000 vaccinators and 3 lakh vaccination team members have been trained on the process to be followed at the vaccination sites. Meanwhile, the country's drugs regulator has approved Covishield and Covaxin for restricted emergency use in the country. Keeping the fighting spirit on against the pandemic, Assam has intensified its dry run process for COVID-19 vaccination. In the first phase, 2 districts saw the dry run take place, namely Honitpur and Nalbari, while the second phase with 33 districts has been intensified, with the dry run being convened in 99 hospitals and health centres. Today in Guwahati, vaccination mock drill were convened on 25 health workers in each centre. The centres where the drive was carried out are the Mother and Children Welfare Hospital at Dhirenpara, Marwari Hospital and Research Centre at Atgaon and the Primary Health Centre at Natboma. NH-AIM Assam officials stated that the preparation for the dry run saw the light of the day last year itself in the state. Information reveals that such dry run would continue till the real medicine arrives.
To start hoise jetia ama government opera first koisile je 4 khon state ote dry run hobo te December amar Ahomo asile one of the states Ahomot tete dukhon district ot already tetia hoi gosle Nalbari Sonitpur atasot Kamrup Metro 2 whole dry run aru aji mane all over the country mane gute bharatot gute kekhon state ote tamne dry run hobo aru hoi ase mane kisumanot to kam.
Union Health Minister Dr. Harsha Vardhan today announced in Chennai that polio vaccination drive in the country would begin on the 17th of this month. The Health Minister, who is on a 2-day visit to the state, told the media that the government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi will end COVID, just like the eradication of polio. The minister lauded the Tamil Nadu government for taking swift measures in controlling the spread of the virus. Harsha Vardhan also met Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy and had a meeting with the ministers. He is scheduled to visit vaccination facilities at various places.
2-3 days. This is very, very essential to ensure that we are able to maintain the overall immunity level of our country, particularly pertaining to poliomyelitis.
After the 8th round of talks with representatives of the farmers' unions, briefing the media, Agriculture and Farmer Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said discussion on the farm laws was taken up but no agreement could be reached. He said the government urged the farmers' union to give an option other than repealing for consideration, but no options could be presented. Hence, the meeting was concluded and the next round of talks between the centre and the farmer leaders is scheduled to be held on 15th of January. Tomar had reiterated that minimum support price, that is MSP, and the mandi system will continue like before. The minister also added that supporters of the protest are of the view that the laws be repealed while many others support the laws.
तीनों कानूनों से संबंधित ही चर्चा होती रही, लेकिन कोई निर्णय आज नहीं हो सका। सरकार का लगातार यह आग्रह रहा कि रिपील के अतिरिक्त कोई और विकल्प अगर यूनियन दे तो सरकार उस पर विचार करेगी।
We now take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Hi mom, फिर से शॉपिंग? बाबूजी, आपने इसे बिगाड़ के रखा।
लिमिट में करो तो कुछ बुरा नहीं होता है।
बिना लिमिट शॉपिंग करेगी आपके कार्ड पे एड ऑन जो है।
मैंने तो कार्ड पे लिमिट सेट कर दिया। अच्छा, इसके फायदे ये हैं कि रिस्क कम हो जाता है और अगर फ्रॉड भी हुआ तो तुरंत बैंक को बोल दीजिए, नुकसान कम।
दादू,
नेक्स्ट
टाइम ये पिंक ड्रेस।
यू आर द लिमिट।
लिमिट तो सेट है। आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
Welcome back to the Northeast News in English. Deputy Chief Minister Poo Tonluya, who also holds the Urban Development and Poverty Alleviation portfolios, laid the foundation stone for the construction of the Aizawl City Indoor Stadium at Republic Wing, Aizawl. Speaking on the occasion, the Deputy Chief Minister highlighted the achievements of the Sports Department and Urban Development and Poverty Alleviation during the past year. The building will be constructed at a cost of rupees 763.45 lakhs with funding from the Khelo India scheme. The double-storied building will have several amenities such as parking space, market and a volleyball court.
Honorable MP Razia Sabate Nuala, Bureau of State Sports Council.
In the COVID update from the nation, Health Ministry states that India has the highest COVID-19 recovery rate in the world, with more than 20,000 patients recovering in the last 24 hours. The total cases of discharge stands over 1,37,000. The rate of new daily infection also continues to remain low, with 18,139 fresh cases being reported in the past 24 hours. Presently, the active case load in the country comprises of around 2,25,000. With that, the total number of positive cases in the country is calculated over 1 crore 4 lakhs. However, with 234 fatalities reported in the past 24 hours, the total death toll in the nation has mounted to 1,50,570. In the COVID update from the region, Arunachal Pradesh has reported altogether 79 active cases with 16,622 recoveries. The death toll remains at 56. Manipur has now 490 active cases with 27,677 recoveries. The death toll is 364. In Meghalaya, the active cases are now 138 with 13,257 recoveries. The tally for the dead is 141. Mizoram has recorded 79 active cases with 4,172 recoveries. The death toll is 8. In Nagaland, active cases are now 131, followed by 11,747 discharged cases. The number of deaths is 82. Sikkim has now 465 active cases with 5,371 recoveries. The number of dead is 129. Lastly, Tripura recorded 59 active cases with 32,852 discharged cases, while the death toll increased to 388. In the COVID-19 media bulletin issued by the State Health and Family Welfare Department and National Health Mission Assam, records 57 fresh cases out of the 19,957 tests conducted in the last 24 hours. Also, 48 discharges reported in the last 24 hours. The total discharge cases in the state now stands at 12,373. The recovery rate has clocked 98.1%. Meanwhile, with 2 deaths reported in the last 24 hours, the total number of deaths has mounted to 1,059. In cricket, India were 96 for the loss of 2 wickets against Australia at the close of play on the second day in the 3rd Test match at Sydney. Earlier, the hosts were all out for 338. Ravindra Jadeja took 4 wickets for the visitors, while Stephen Smith scored 131 runs for the host. The host had won the toss and elected to bat on the opening day. The 4-match series is currently levelled at 1-1, and if India manages to win this test, the side will retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy, even if Australia goes on to win the last test at Brisbane. Meghalaya Social Welfare Minister Kirmen Shila on Wednesday clarified that the notification issued by the department was not a directive for issuing of the scheduled tribe certificate to persons who has taken their father's surname. While refusing to comment whether ST certificate should be issued or denied to those who have taken their father's surname, Shila observed that the government would have to listen to the voice of the majority, adding that it also needs to ensure that the traditional practices are protected. He further said that the final call would have to be decided by the authorities concerned, whether it is Deputy Commissioner's Office of the Autonomous District Councils. Earlier, a group of concerned citizens had expressed strong opposition against the state government's notification, which seeks to issue scheduled tribe certificates to indigenous people who takes the surname of the father's clan.
Kakam gede ban bang kloi kenang bikin la ban pendon kami gitu certificate otherwise ban ong ban ai kita kiba ajak kiba nging la ban sim kuno arrive from other.
Congress MLA Ampareen Lyngdoh has asked the state government if it had consulted all the stakeholders before taking a decision of not letting in tourists who visit Meghalaya just for a day. According to a government notification, a tourist coming to the state for a day will no longer be allowed to enter the state, as it would lead to difficulty in operations of the tourism screening centre at Umling in Ribhoi. Officials in Ribhoi district said more than 100 tourists have been sent back from the Umling entry gate as they wanted to visit the state only for a day. The Congress leader also sought clarity from the government on whether the tourists are expected to come with an RT-PCR negative report or undergo the rapid antigen test being done at the Umling entry point. Lyngdoh said that the government must ensure that incoming tourists are COVID-free, while asking the government to be transparent about its preparations in handling any mutated strain of the coronavirus. With the advent of the new year, Bhogali Bihu, the first festival of the year of the state, is much anticipated. The state is all set to celebrate this festival of feasting and fun. The first Bhogali Bihu fair in the capital city at Lokhidhar Bora Khetra started from today, continuing to the 13th of this month. Organized by Borohom and NGO, the fair saw nearly 40 stalls containing ethnic food such as curd, varieties of flattened rice, varieties of sweet cakes, delicacies made from jaggery and coconut, etc. Meanwhile, a fair turnout of people was witnessed at the venue. However, keeping the pandemic situation in mind, the organization assured complete COVID protocols to be followed. For more, our viewers can also watch our bulletins and other programs on our YouTube channel, DD News Guwahati. To end the news, the headlines once again. Phase 2 COVID-19 vaccination dry run carried out throughout the nation. Assam sees a dry run in 33 districts. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshavardhan announces polio vaccination drive to begin on the 17th of this month. Government farmers talks reach no agreement. Next round of talks scheduled for the 15th of this month. Deputy Chief Minister Pu Tonluya lays foundation stone for Aizawl City Indoor Stadium at Republic Bank, Aizawl. And Australia all out for 338 against India on the second day of the third test match. Before we take leave, viewers are reminded to maintain physical distancing and frequently wash hands with soap or sanitizer. Remember to wear a mask properly and join the Mask Up India campaign by Doordarshan to defeat the pandemic. Mask Up India. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.